all ties into history, law, and policies. So this is all connected. History, law, and policies. If we look at this executive order from January 20th, 2021, Inauguration Day, there were 10 executive orders he did on the first day. This is one of them. Executive order on advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government. Okay. Executive order on advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government. This was on first day in office, which was a half a day actually, January 20th, 2021, because he wasn't sworn in. The inauguration ceremony was 12 noon, 2021. But if we look at this here, they talk about, for example, an analysis shows, and I want to blow this up. Now, you can read all executive orders at whitehouse.gov, official website of the White House. I encourage everybody to read all 45 plus executive orders. Read all executive orders, and also all the speeches that the president gives, the vice president gives. They have the transcripts of the speeches there. They also have the video of the speeches. Go research that. So this says here, for example, and so let me just back. By advancing equity across the federal government, we can create opportunities for the improvement of communities that have been historically underserved, which benefits everyone. For example, an analysis shows that closing racial gaps in wages, housing credit, lending opportunities, and access to higher education would amount to an additional $5 trillion in gross domestic product in the American economy over the next 5 years. Okay. The federal government's goal in advancing equity is to provide everyone with the opportunity to reach their full potential. Consistent with these aims, each agency must assess whether and to what extent its programs and policies perpetuate systemic barriers to opportunities and benefits for people of color and other underserved groups. Read this full executive order, okay? Because when they talk about that $5 trillion, that came directly from the study from Citigroup, which then ties into the legacy of slavery. Now, you don't have to say slavery. See, what a lot of people don't understand is strategy. African Americans are 14% of the U.S. population. Just to be honest with you, you're not going to get bills passed just talking about black, because you're 14% of the population. Do you realize how many white people in the House of Representatives and U.S. Senate got to vote on this stuff? The Congressional Black Caucus is only 60 people, and most of them in the House. There's only 2.5 black people in the U.S. Senate, and one of them is not even a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. That's Black Tea Party Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina. And he's already said he's not voting for reparations. If you ever study the history of slavery in this country, and you don't have to have studied African American history for 28 years or anything like that. If you ever study the history of slavery in this country, ask yourself this question. Why did most slaves who run away at nighttime and not in the daytime? If you ever study the history of slavery in this country, ask yourself the question, why did most slaves who run away at nighttime and not in the daytime? One can make the argument you could see better in the daytime, so it's easier to see where you're going. Someone else can make the argument that is true, but the people who are coming to capture you and take you back to the plantation can see better in the daytime also. So oftentimes people don't understand strategy, because the fact of the matter is, any of these policies that get passed through the legislative branch of government, the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate, being that we're 14% of the population and only have about 59 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives out of 435 seats, and only have 2.5 seats in the U.S. Senate, out of 100 seats in the U.S. Senate, any of these policies, if you want to get them passed that benefit African Americans, you're going to have to show how they also benefit everybody else. Now, even though we get the majority of the benefit from these policies, just like I showed you in the executive order, closing the racial wealth gaps, closing the racial gaps would increase U.S. economy by $5 trillion over 5 years. That will have a huge impact on African Americans, but it'll benefit everybody else. But if you only have 59 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives out of 435 seats, and you got 2.5 seats in the U.S. Senate out of 100, and you're just talking about black, and you don't understand how to show how these policies that benefit us will also positively impact everybody else to actually get the bills passed, a lot of us don't understand strategy and actually how to bring into fruition what it is we say we want in these YouTube videos and documentaries and conferences we go to every year. Some people don't want to tell you the truth. I don't give a damn. I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. Because in business school, you learn the concept of win-win and how to market your idea, how to promote your idea and show how it benefits everybody. That's what you're going to have to do. But a lot of us don't understand that. And see, I'm somebody who's actually been involved in writing public policy for the city of Detroit. So I understand that. Okay. So that's the difference between theory and actual practical application. A lot of stuff sounds good in documentaries, but in practical application, that stuff don't work. Okay. So once again, read this article, read the executive order. That ties into the article from Citigroup. Okay. Now, if we were 50%, 60%, 70% of the U.S. population, our strategy could be different. We're not. We're 14% of the population. It is what it is. We have to understand strategies and understand why enslaved Africans who ran away at nighttime and not in the daytime. They had strategy. Okay. Then read the article from Citigroup as well.